Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. My name is Riley. Thank you so much for being here. Today we are going to be doing my sorority rush experience story time long length video of me explaining my entire sorority rush experience at Penn State University. It's a long one, so buckle up. I've gotten a lot of questions on TikTok explaining how rush works, how my experience was, what I recommend doing rush. So I feel like this video is going to answer basically all of those questions in one video. I'm going to just go through my entire rush experience from start to end, and I feel like by doing that, I'll be able to explain the rush process a lot easier that way, and I feel like it'll answer most of your questions. But if you have any more, feel free to drop them down below in the comments. And of course, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you want to see more college videos. So yeah, let's get started. Okay, so formal sorority recruitment officially begins at Penn State when you get back to school after Christmas break. But technically the first round happens over Christmas break. So what happens is you have to register for rush before the end of Christmas break, and you also have to submit a 1-minute video about a random topic that they assign each year. It's different. Last year, the question was like, what was a moment that you were most proud of yourself? And you had to explain it in a minute-long video, not any shorter, not any longer, and then you sent it out to all of the sororities. So that was like the first step. After registration, you had to submit that video. Every single chapter saw that video, and from that video, they either said yes or no to you from a 1-minute video. I don't know how I feel about that, but honestly, that's kind of the only way to do it. There's like 1,000 girls who rush every year. There's so many chapters. There's no way that they're going to be able to take all these girls. So it is a nice way to like quickly eliminate people who they feel like right off the bat would not fit into their chapter for whatever reason. But it does kind of suck to be dropped from a sorority just by a 1-minute video. How is anybody supposed to tell anything about you from a 1-minute video? They're not. But unfortunately, that's just the way it is. Now you get back to school after Christmas break. It's the start of the second semester, and it's right before the semester starts. You're going to have, I believe it was called orientation, which is basically in Eisenhower Auditorium, and every single girl who's rushing will be there. It's going to be a big, huge auditorium, and you're going to sit there and you're going to listen to Penn tell you basically everything that you need to know for the rush process. They're going to tell you where you need to pick up your shirts, what your Pi Chi group is, all that stuff. And it's just like a formal introduction to rush. They explain all of the rounds, when they are, how it works, all that stuff. Also at orientation, you meet your Pi Chi groups. So after they do the whole big presentation, you will separate off into your groups, which you will be given, I forget how they gave them to us. I think we got an email with our Pi Chi group number. And then they tell you where to go based on your group number. You're probably wondering, what the heck is a Pi Chi? And what is my Pi Chi group? Your Pi Chi is basically your resource and your big sister throughout the rush process. It is somebody who is an active member of a sorority chapter, but they will not be participating in recruitment, and their sole job is to help their girls in their group through recruitment, meaning they answer any of your questions. They're there for you to talk to them, get opinions, and they will be completely unbiased, and you don't know what sorority they're in until bid day when they reveal it. You'll go meet your Pi Chi groups on the day of orientation, and they'll kind of give you like a quick rundown. You'll meet everyone, but then you'll never actually see all those people in person again. But it is nice because you might see some girls maybe at a party, but like as a group, you won't all be together again, only at orientation. After orientation, it is your job to finish what's basically the online round. So the sororities have done their part where they've gone through and they've watched your video and they've either said yes or no. And now you have to do the same thing. Every chapter has a video. There's between like a minute to 10 minutes long that you sit down and you watch, and you rank the chapters 1 to I think like 26 or something like that we have, and you rank them and you submit your rankings, and then you basically get like matched. It's like an automatic matching system that goes through and matches you with the chapters that you guys like ranked each other both highly. And those will be the chapters that you will go to for the very first in-person round, which is Philanthropy. Philanthropy round, like I said, is the first round that is in person, and it is pretty informal. Like, it's the least formal round out of all of them because you're going to the most amount of chapters for the least amount of time. As you go through the rush process, as you move into different rounds, the rounds become more formal. They also narrow down the amount of chapters that you go to, and the time that you are there gets longer. So for Philanthropy round, at Penn State this past year, we wore the same exact t-shirt for all days of Philanthropy, and then we had a new t-shirt that we wore for all days of Sisterhood. So the only time that you wore like an actual full brand new outfit was for prep round and bid day. For Philanthropy, I basically just wore the t-shirt that they gave us, and I wore a pair of leather pants with a fun pair of sneakers. Philanthropy round is 3 days long, and you can get at most 13 sororities back for Philanthropy round. Now, the way that you get your sororities back depends on the rankings. So how you ranked them and how they ranked you and how those lined up. Just because you can get a maximum of 13 sororities back does not mean that you will get all 13, but you could. And just because Philanthropy is 3 days long does not mean that you will have 3 days worth of Philanthropy round. You probably only will if you get the maximum amount of sororities back. So this is kind of where my story begins. So the way that it works is in the morning of each round, it's 8 o'clock in the morning, or it's like 4 o'clock at night after classes if it's on like a Thursday. But for Philanthropy round, it should be over the weekend. It should be Saturday, Sunday, and Monday before classes start. And you have to be on your Zoom call with your Pi Kais at 8 a.m. And you have to be fully dressed, makeup on, hair done, completely ready, because the schedules come out at 8 a.m. on the dot. You'll download an app, your Pi Kais will have you set that all up. It's super easy to do, and that's where you'll turn in your rankings every day, and that is where you'll get your schedule every morning. You will get your schedule for the entire round, but obviously not for the next round because that depends on the previous round. On the very first day of the Philanthropy round, you will get your schedule at 8 a.m. It's kind of annoying because parties can be literally at any time during the entire day. So it's frustrating when you get up and get completely ready and then you don't even have a party until like 4 o'clock. But you have to be ready because what if you do have that party at 9 a.m.? You know what I'm saying? So I woke up, got all ready. I woke up at like 6 a.m. I was so ready. I was so excited. I was like, yes, I can't wait to see what sororities I get back. Definitely all the ones that I really liked are going to put me first. Like, I cannot wait. Boy, was my ego checked, because I opened up that app and I only got back 8 sororities. And there were only 3 or 4 that I actually really wanted just from the video round. I hadn't gone and talked to them in person, but from the video round, there were only 4 that I ranked highly, and the rest of them were ones that I ranked lower. That's not to say that those chapters are bad sororities or that I didn't like them. I just didn't personally see myself fitting in with that chapter for whatever reason, and there's nothing wrong with that, because obviously I wasn't meant to be in that chapter because I'm not in it, you know? But that doesn't mean that it's a bad sorority. Absolutely not. I don't even think that there's such thing as a bad sorority on our campus. I think that they're all amazing, and I don't want these words to get twisted. So let's just make that very clear from the beginning. Not only did I only have 8 parties back instead of 13, I had all of them in one day. So Philanthropy was 3 days long, and I was only participating for 1 day. And at this point, I had started posting onto TikTok. I was posting like, get ready with me's. I posted a pack my rush bag with me, get ready with me for orientation. And I was like, wow, this is so embarrassing. Philanthropy is 3 days long and I'm only going to be there for 1 day. These people are going to think I'm so weird, like nobody likes me. First of all, that's not true. The number of sororities that you get back throughout the rush process is not a reflection on who you are as a person. It just is so hard to judge people by, first of all, especially the very first round, it's a 1-minute video. And then when you're going and talking to girls at these parties, it really just depends on the girl you talk to and if you guys click. Because you could meet one girl in a chapter who you guys click like this and you guys love each other. And then another girl that maybe you're like, whoa, that's totally not my vibe. So it's a very weird process. Basically, how I would describe Rush is it's like a faulty process, but there's literally like no other way to do it in order to get you to talk to all these people in a quick amount of time and get a feel for all these chapters. So with that being said, I was really discouraged, but I still had a few sororities on my list that I really wanted, including Phi Sigma Sigma and one other sorority, which I'm not going to name. But those are my 2 that I really wanted off the bat from Philanthropy. When I just looked at my schedule, those were the 2 that I was like, wow, I really want. And spoiler alert, I did end up in Phi Sig, so that's why I'm sharing that name. those were the two that I really wanted. I was really happy because I got them back, and there were a few other options of ones that I liked, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna give this a shot. I'm not gonna judge just based off of a video. You never know what it's like. Let me talk to these girls. And I told myself that no matter how much I hated the process, I was not going to drop out until pref. Because when you get to pref, if you get back 2 sororities, you are guaranteed a bid from one of them. And I knew that I already really loved these 2 sororities just based off the video. I really liked at least 2 of them. So I was like, I'm waiting until I get back my people from pref. And if I don't want to go through the pref round, then I'll drop. Because honestly, those are the only 2 sororities that matter at that point, because they're the only 2 that you could possibly be in. I'm all ready for philanthropy. I had parties back to back the entire day. I had no point to stop. I'm calling my mom. I'm having a little bit of a breakdown. I'm a little bit upset, but I'm like, you know what? Let me just like go talk to them. Like, I don't know what could happen. But I'm going to be completely honest. I was so upset. I was like heartbroken. And I was like, what's wrong with me? Why am I so weird that more than half of the chapters that I really liked didn't even invite me to the first round? Like, they could have at least invited me to the first round and talked to me for a minute before cutting me and dropping me. But honestly, like I said, there are so many girls going through this process that it's almost impossible for them to get absolutely everyone and give absolutely everyone a chance. They try their best, but at the end of the day, they have to make the decision that they feel is best for their chapter. And just know that when you get dropped by a sorority, it's not the place that's meant for you anyway. When you are meant for a sorority, you will feel it and you will know it. And if you do get dropped by them, then maybe that's when you decide that, okay, I don't want to be in the rush process anymore. This is the only one that I wanted, and it's pointless for me. And I think that's perfectly fine if you decide to drop out of rush. Like, if you think that that's what's right for you, good. You have to trust your gut. You have to do what's right for you in this process, and you literally have to be selfish in this process. Like, you have to make the right decisions for you. You can't rank sororities because you feel bad. You want to put one higher than the other. Like, no, when it comes to this process, I'm sorry, but you have to be selfish in a way, and you have to advocate for yourself and make the best decision for you, or else you're going to end up in a chapter that you don't belong in. You have to be yourself through this process. If you put on a facade and you try to be somebody that you're not just so that chapters will like you and invite you back, just think about that in your head for a second. You're pretending to be something that you're not in order to get invited back somewhere. First of all, you don't belong there because you're pretending to be somebody that you're not, and they don't actually know the real you. And second of all, why would you ever want to pretend to be something that you're not? You always want to be your authentic self in whatever it is that you're doing. So you need to carry that with you through rush. Let me explain the parties really quickly, and then I'll finish up with philanthropy round and we'll move on to sisterhood. Since the sororities at Penn State do not have houses because it's like a Pennsylvania law, we do have some sororities that have sorority floors, but then some sororities don't have sorority floors. Maybe they share a floor with another chapter, whatever. So there's not really like a house for them to have their party at. So instead, some of the sororities will have them on their floor, and you'll go in like their little shared living space in the little kitchen area, or maybe they'll branch off and you guys will go into like bedrooms, and it'll be like 4 people in there or however many people, and you guys will like talk in the room just so it's a little bit more quiet. But some of them will also have places downtown, so maybe at like the hotels downtown, the restaurants downtown, they'll rent them out and you'll have parties there, and it will say on your app what time you have each chapter and where it is. So make sure that you're giving yourself enough time to get everywhere. If you're gonna be a little bit late because you have parties back to back, like across campus, text your Pi Chi so that they can communicate that to the chapter and so that they will wait for you. I go into philanthropy round, I go to all my parties, I'm exhausted. And Phi Sig was my very last one of the day, and I just remember being like, oh my gosh, I need to get through this. This is the one that I really want. It's my last one. Like, let's go. Like, we're doing it. I ended up talking to my now G-Big, Maddie, and the most amazing girl ever, Libby, during philanthropy round. And the second I talked to the two of them, I was hooked. Like, I literally didn't want any other chapter except for one, because I didn't want to limit myself to just one sorority. But I was like, this is my number one. Like, if I get them for prep round, I'm putting them number one. So Maddie and Libby, if you're watching this, you know that I love you. And you guys made me want to be in Phi Sig. I don't really want to talk too much about my parties and my experiences with that. I mean, they were kind of all the same, honestly. It's a little bit draining talking about like the same thing over and over and over again. My advice is to have questions prepared ahead of time, and at orientation they'll actually give you some, so just remember them, ask the questions that they give you at orientation, you know, things about their philanthropies, their sisterhood, and stuff that they do. And then I always had a backup question that I could ask if it started to get dry and there was no topic of conversation. I would ask about Thon because I was very, very interested in Thon, and I knew from the start of the school year that I wasn't going to join a Thon committee because I wanted to be heavily involved with Thon in my sorority. So that was very important to me, that they had a good relationship with Thon and that they did a lot for that. So that was something that I asked at every chapter, and it was like my fallback if I had nothing else to say, because I knew that I could talk about Thon. Like, I absolutely knew that I could sit there and talk about Thon for hours. So have something that you can fall back on that makes you stand out from the questions that every other girl is asking, because I guarantee you these girls are all meshing in these recruiters' minds, and they're like, what is going on? They've had so many parties. However many parties you've had, they've had double. So it's a long day for the recruiters as well. So just remember, you need to make yourself stand out, whether that's with your outfit, with the topic that you're talking about. Somehow you need to make yourself stand out. I was actually so upset after Philanthropy round and the chapters that I didn't get back that my mom ended up driving 4 hours to come see me because I was so upset. And so we spent the last 2 days of Philanthropy round together because I only had one day, because I was just like really discouraged and I felt like I was such a weirdo and like an outcast that I didn't have a party that day. So my mom came and visited me, you know, hyped me up, talked me through it, and made me feel a lot better. And then we went into Sisterhood round, which the worst thing about Rush is the fact that they make you wait so long before you find out what chapters you got back for the next round. Going into Sisterhood round, at the end of every round, you rank your sororities again, 1, 2, however many you got back, and then it's the same kind of system where they match you back with the ones who ranked you high, and whatever, you get dropped by ones that ranked you lower. But the thing is, we do Rush at Penn State during the school year. It's like the first week of the semester. So Philanthropy round is like Friday to Sunday, and then we have off until Thursday. So from Sunday to Thursday, you're just waiting to see who you got back for Sisterhood round. And it was literally the most anxious that I've ever been in my entire life. Like, I've never been more of an anxious mess than those few days that I was waiting back to see which chapters wanted me back. The most that you can get back for Sisterhood round, I believe, is 8. I ended up getting 7 back for Sisterhood round, which was fine. The sorority that I didn't get back was one that I didn't really feel like I connected with. So I actually was very happy going into Sisterhood round because I had the 2 that I really wanted and some other solid options that I was happy with. And so I felt a little bit better about Sisterhood round. Like I said, I only had parties for I think 1 day, and then maybe I had I had them all in 1 day, which was really nice. So I got it all over with. And I don't know, I think I'm getting my days mixed up now. Okay, I'm think that I'm confusing myself right now, but I didn't have any of the rounds. I was never there for all of the days. I only had like 1 or 2 days that I was going to these rounds because I didn't get the maximum amount of sororities back, and just the way that my schedule ended up working out. Even for Sisterhood, when I got 7 out of 8, I just had them all like in 1 or 2 days. I just can't remember exactly what is what. I will look it up and I will put it on the screen because I'm sure I'm probably confusing you guys now, and I'm sorry, I'm confused. I don't know what I'm saying. And for Sisterhood, you get back 8 sororities and you go for 30 minutes. So you get back less and you stay for longer, so that way you can make closer connections. So I went through Sisterhood round. I was feeling really good after Sisterhood. I really liked the options that I had. I felt like I hit it off, and I felt like I knew which 2 ones I wanted from Pref, honestly from the Philanthropy round, but Sisterhood like solidified it for me, and I really felt good about it. I felt like I was going to get them back. But at the same time, you just never know. And then, of course, they made us wait like a few days again until it was Pref round. Pref round is the most formal. Like, you wear dresses, heels, you dress up really, really nice. And when you get to Pref round, you can get at most 2 sororities back, and you go for, I think, 40, 45 minutes. As long as you get 2 chapters back, you are guaranteed a bid from one of them. That's pretty freaking awesome. So if you get back 2 chapters that you really like, you're set. Like, you're going to get a bid from one of them. If you only get back 1 chapter, you're not guaranteed to get a bid, but it's probably more than likely that you will get them, but there's always a chance that you might not. And also, if you do get back 2 chapters, but you don't want the other one, like you only want one of them, they have this thing that you can do where you just simply do not rank the other sorority and you only rank the one. So therefore you only have the option to get the bid from that one sorority, which could either go really well for you or really bad, because you could either get a bid or you don't get one, and then you don't get a bid from that other sorority because you didn't rank them. You know? And for some reason, there was something about all the other chapters that I was kind of hesitant about. But with Phi Sig, there was no question for me. Like, I knew that I wanted Phi Sig. And so I went right to the rankings and I ranked Phi Sig number 1. I got lucky enough that I had the first 2 parties of the day. So I went to Phi Sig and then my other chapter, and then I went and ranked them, and I was just done with it. And then I had to wait until bid day. So the infamous bid day. The way that bid day works, you'll go there wearing usually like jeans and a little tank top, because they're going to give you a shirt to put on when you get to your chapter. And they'll make you sit with your pica groups, and then they'll pass out your bids. There'll be like a countdown on the screen. It's in the Bryce Jordan Center, which is the basketball arena. There will be a countdown on the screen, and it'll be like 3, 2, 1, and then you'll open them. You'll get your bid, and then the sororities are all up on the upper level of the Bryce Jordan Center, and they have little stations all around the concourse of the Bryce Jordan Center. So what they will do is they will say, if you are now a member of whatever sorority, go run home. So you'll go upstairs and you'll start to see all the girls that are in your chapter as you go upstairs, and you literally like run to your sorority, and you just have to like look and like find them. But they'll basically just be like screaming and holding up signs and looking for you. From there, they take you to the bid day party, which could be anywhere. It could be on their sorority floor. It could be at a place downtown. My bid day party was actually in the Bryce Jordan Center. It was in like the basement area. We went there, we ran home. They gave us the t-shirts up on the concourse level, and then we went down into the party. I was the very first person to walk into the party, like literally the first one. And I just walk in and I see all these girls standing there with like little signs like that. Woo! And I stood there and I was like this. I was like, oh my God, what am I supposed to do? I can't see that far. I can't see which one has my name on it. There's a million of them. And then this girl just comes running right at me, and I see the Riley R on the sign. And I'm like, oh my God. And I like hug her, and her name was Kaylee, and she's now my big. And normally your bid, they call them a bid day buddy, is the girl who is like holding your sign with your little name, and the girl that you like are with on bid day, and kind of just like helps you walk around and talk to people so that you don't feel like awkward, and they introduce you to their families and all that stuff. Yeah, so I didn't even know Kaylee. Most of the time your bid day buddy is somebody that you talk to during rush, but Maddie was like not sure if she was going to make it on time, and so Kaylee was my bid day buddy because Kaylee was Maddie's little. So now Kaylee is my big, Maddie is my G big, and we're just a big happy family. And that's only part of our family. We have like a really huge family. After bid day, you run home, you go to your bid day party, you meet your big, your bid day buddy. You guys get some merch, you have like a little party, there's food, there's like photo booths, there's fun things to do, and it is just like the best time. You get to meet girls in your new pledge class, and it's honestly just like so overwhelming, but it is really fun. Like I was really like, whoa, what is going on? But I did have a good day, and I actually ended up meeting like 3 of my best friends in my sorority and like now in my family. So that was pretty awesome because I made like 3 of my best friends on bid day. And that's basically the gist about bid day. I was getting a bunch of questions about that in my comments. So that's all the things you need to know about bid day. Last thing that I want to talk about real quick before I talk about the weather conditions and my suggestions for rush is continuous open bidding. So say you get a bid from a chapter and you don't accept it, or you do not get a bid. You are eligible to do continuous open bidding, which basically means that chapters will continue to recruit people after primary recruitment, and it's called like informal recruitment or something like that. And some people will do it like right after rush ends, like formal recruitment ends. They'll do it like literally right after, but then most chapters will wait until the fall, and you can basically like rush again in the fall, but it's very informal. You'll sign up for it, you can see the chapters that are available, and you basically just go on like a coffee date with a girl. So luckily for me, going into pref round, I had the 2 sororities that I really wanted. And pref round is really special because they do like a whole ceremony for pref round, and it's different for every chapter. It has to do with your different values and your philanthropies and all that stuff. But it's very special. The girls sometimes cry. Like it's just an emotional moment. And typically you get prepped by a girl who you already talked to during rush. And so it's somebody that you already know. It's somebody that you're comfortable with. Like I said, my now G-Big Maddie was the girl who prepped me, and we were just like sitting there talking about, I don't even remember what, because I think I like blacked out. But I just remember having the best time at prep, and I was leaving there and I was like, wow, I really loved that. But then I had a great time at prep for my other chapter. So then I was so torn between the two. I was like, I don't know what to do. I'm gonna hurt somebody's feelings because I loved both of these girls so much, and I just genuinely don't know what to do. Like, I absolutely love both of them. I don't want to make any of them upset, but I think I need to do what's right for my gut. And from the very first round, I had this gut feeling that I wanted to go Phi Sig. They'll basically like tell you at the end of the date, like if you get a bid or not. And then you'll be in the sorority and you'll just be in the new pledge class. Like everything is the exact same. You just did continuous open bidding instead of the traditional rush experience, which is perfectly fine. Like if you dropped out of rush, if you didn't get a bid, if you didn't accept a bid, you can do continuous open bidding. Not every chapter does continuous open bidding, and like I said, some will do it in the spring, like right after rush is over, and some will do it in the fall. So it just depends. You can always rush again as long as you don't accept a bid. If you do accept a bid, you have to wait like a whole year until you can rush again, but you'll learn all this as you go through the process. And you can always talk to Panhellenic if you have any questions. Like I said, the process is not the most fun, but I do think that it's worth it in the end if you end up in a chapter that you like. And if you end up in a chapter that you do not like, drop. Like, I am such a firm believer in dropping rush and dropping your sorority if you don't feel happy, because it's a lot of money, it's a lot of time commitment, and it's just a lot. If you're not happy, you don't have to put the time in. Nobody's forcing you to do it. Like I said, trust your gut and do what's best for you, not for anybody else. Rush is in the middle of winter at Penn State. You're going and you're rushing in the beginning of January. We were walking around with ice, snow, rain, like literally every weather condition you can imagine we had during rush. So bring your coat with you. You're gonna walk around with your coat, and you're gonna walk around in sweatpants pulled over top of your dress. And guess what? Everybody's gonna do it, so you don't have to feel stupid. Bring a bag with you so that you can like take your sweatpants off and put them in your bag. And also bring a bag with you so that you can have like snacks, a phone charger, extra makeup, and so that you can put your shoes, like if you're wearing heels or if you're wearing like a pair of sneakers that you don't want to get ruined, you can put them in your bag and then walk around in your snow boots. And when you get to the party, just get there early and change your shoes. And like I said, everybody's going to do it. It's really not that big of a deal. The parties are all over campus, all over downtown. So like you're going to have to walk a lot. So I highly recommend bringing a bag so that you can like keep your extra stuff in it, and you can keep your lanyard in there. You'll never lose it. And just make sure that you're dressing appropriately, but show your personality a little bit. I wore fun leather pants, fun sneakers, a cute little skirt. I did fun jewelry. I added bows and accessories in my hair, did my makeup certain ways to make myself stand out and show my personality a little bit. Overall, I think that, like I said, rush is not the easiest process. It's not the best process, but unfortunately, it's really the only way to go about it. And this is coming from somebody who ended up in the chapter that I wanted from the beginning. Like, I literally ended up where I wanted, and I still had a bad rush experience just because I put so much pressure on myself and I was so anxious the entire time. You don't have to be that hard on yourself. It's going to be okay. Everything happens for a reason. It's going to work out. And if you don't end up in that sorority that you wanted, then there's probably a good reason why you didn't, okay? It's probably like a blessing in disguise and you didn't even realize it. I promise you it's not the end of the world. It's going to be okay. You got this. And like I said, if you guys have any more questions, let me know in the comments. I'll try my best to answer them. If you like this video, please subscribe, give it a thumbs up. Also, let me know in the comments any other video ideas that you guys want. And yeah, that's really all I have for you guys, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.